I love being a part of historical movements in music. Like that's just so cool to me, and to be able to be involved is like just an honor.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon Daly and I'm joined by Willow for the latest in Enemies in Conversation video series. Hi Willow, how are you?
I'm pretty good, how about you?
I'm good, thank you, yeah.
Awesome.
We're here today to talk about your new album, Coping Mechanism.
Yay!
First of all, what's the story behind that album and the title?
Oh man, actually, I was just looking back at some old notes in my phone and I had a folder and it was called Coping Mechanism and it had 3 songs in it. And I was like, huh. This is crazy, and I realized, I looked at the date and it was in 2018 and I was like, whoa, this is really, really crazy. This idea has been with me for so long, and I kind of like remembered that. And I think that the title has been with me for a long time, but what inspired the creation of the album, I hate to say it because when I made music, like when I was younger, I really wanted to stay away from the idea of heartbreak and romantic love because I felt like it was so played out. Like I just felt like everyone talks about that and it's just kind of boring. But then your girl got her heart broken. And you know what? I said, maybe this is the time for me to make that album. And this is that album.
It happens to us all.
It does, you know? Geez, young Willow was like, oh, man.
How much would you say making this album has been a coping mechanism in itself for you to deal with that heartbreak then?
The whole thing. The whole thing. That's why it's called Coping Mechanism, and music being my coping mechanism. And I don't know, I think we all have our own coping mechanisms, and if we can, you know, analyze them and see what they are, and I feel like we can kind of start getting better, start trying to just be better people in general.
Absolutely. It's only been just over a year since you released your last album, Lately I Feel Everything. Do you feel like you're kind of on a bit of a creative roll right now?
I really do. It's so interesting. After Lately I Feel Everything, I said to myself I wasn't going to make another album for a while, and even when I, you know, got with Chris, the amazing friend who produced Coping Mechanism, I was still telling him that I wasn't going to make an album. Like I was like, oh no, let's just have fun and let's not put anything on it. But it slowly but surely became a very strong project, and I was like, we have to do this now. So
yeah. Do you think kind of making it more fun and not putting the pressure of having like this has to be an album, this is going to be turned into a record, kind of made it come together more quickly for you?
I think so, yeah, because I wasn't like stressing about like, oh, this needs to be something. Like I was just allowing myself to do whatever I wanted, really. Yeah.
You mentioned Chris Grotti, who you worked with on this album, you co-produced this album with. What was it like working with him on this record compared to Lately I Feel Everything?
I think I was so much more in touch with like my vocal state, because I had been doing a lot of training with my vocal teacher before I started recording Coping Mechanism, and I was going really, really hard with him, and I just really wanted to just get my vocal fitness back in shape, because I knew I was going to be going on tour and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I feel like from working on that, my voice was able to do so many different things. And that's the most different part about it, I think. Like, when I was recording Lately I Feel Everything, my voice just can't do what it can do now. And it's very surprising to me. And also just working with different people is always a beautiful way to open your mind to different kinds of music and different ways of working.
What would you say was the most different way of working on this record then?
We would get in the studio and everything kind of happened just like right there. Like there was no talking beforehand of like, oh, what should we do, or how should we this and that. Like we went in there and whatever we wanted to create, we did it. And it was very, I don't know, it just felt very spontaneous, and it was a little strange for me because I was like, this is so easy. Like, how are we just like working together so well, and we're just making like every day one song. You know what I mean? Each time we get together, it's like one song. And sometimes you can't finish one song with one person, and like The longest I've ever spent on one song with another person is maybe 5 days.
Yeah.
And that's a long time to spend on one song. So I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, like we're knocking it out. And it was just free. It felt so free, and we were just allowing each other to play and be experimental, and I think that's so important.
So do you think that working relationship is going to continue then, and have you been working on more stuff since you finished this album?
I would love that. I feel like when I make albums, I focus really, really hard for a certain amount of time, and then once it's done, I kind of like to let my mind rest. I write on the guitar here and there, but not having like really, really intense sessions in the studio right now.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like you've wanted to make metal music for a long time, and you're going there on this album.
Yeah.
Why was now the right time? Why are these songs the right songs to kind of go into that sound?
I mean, Griotti plays the guitar like a freaking titan. Like he's just like 16 million feet tall with just this huge, like he just plays like he's just in the music. And I feel like the music that he likes to play the most is metal. And so that's his forte. So I feel like we just really worked really well together. Like I wanted to do that. He was like, oh, I know how to do this. Which direction should we take it? And it was just really nice for that to just be his comfort zone. And for me to be able to feel so comfortable in that area, in that safe space, because I mean, I can play some metal riffs, I can, but it's not my forte. It's not the thing that I do the best. I wish it was, and soon it might be. But yeah.
Do you feel like you have more to explore in that sound then?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I was playing a bit of 7-string like last year. I was actually playing a lot of 7-string last year. I was super, super obsessed. And I just need to get back on that vibe, because once you commit to something, you really do get better at it fairly quickly. So it's it just takes the commitment.
Yeah, very true. Aside from your own music, this year you've been working with Youngblood, Pink Pantheress, Camila Cabello. What do you look for in a collaborator?
I look for someone who is open to being experimental and to doing things that other people may not be into doing. And I just look for a friend. Like, if I really love you and like you inspire me as a person, and like I'm down. Like I love working with people who I love, and that's really the only criteria.
Yeah, simple as that.
Totally.
I read that you kind of started working with Camila after you had a big shared spiritual experience.
Oh yeah, we went to our mutual friend's house and we did like a meditation together. And it was just really beautiful. Like I didn't know she was going to be there. She didn't know I was going to be there. And it was just nice to be able to talk about that afterwards and to just have a friend who you experienced that with. Just really cool, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that brought you together more creatively as well?
100%. I think when people's hearts are connected, anything can happen.
Yeah. You've also worked with some absolute legends like Travis Barker, Avril Lavigne. Is there anyone else on the bucket list that you're hoping to work with one day?
Oh my goodness. I want to work with Les Claypool from Primus. I also want to work with the main singer of Hiatus Coyote, Napalm. She's amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people I want to work with. The list that could be infinite.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You toured with Machine Gun Kelly as well this year. What was that like for you? What kind of experience did you have on that tour?
It was just really fun to be able to, tour again and to be singing these new songs. And I don't know, I'm pretty simple when it comes to music. I just love to be able to make it. I love to be able to sing it. Anywhere I get to do that, I'm really grateful.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with MGK? Is he someone who gives you advice or who you can go to for advice?
I respect him so much, and I think that us respecting each other and respecting the craft just gives us the opportunity to have so many beautiful conversations and to be able to share that love of music.
You also just made your debut appearance at Reading Leeds. How was that? How did it go?
Oh my goodness, it was so crazy. there were so many people there. I was honestly like, what is going on? It was so much fun, and I got to perform some new songs there, and that was so much fun. I felt like the reaction to the new songs was just better than I ever could have imagined, and just really grateful. Yeah.
Did you have any fun moments backstage? Did you meet anyone that you look up to there?
I usually like to stay pretty low key. And I had to like catch a bunch of trains. I couldn't stay. I couldn't stay at the. It was really annoying. I wanted to stay, but I couldn't stay. So I had to like leave basically right after I performed, which is bummer.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, exactly.
They're some of the biggest festivals in the UK. They're kind of like a teenage rite of passage. Is that something that you were aware of and something that you kind of wanted to be there for?
I mean, those festivals are historical. I love just that, you know, European, like UK, like history of music. I feel like is so amazing. I feel like that's why I love performing here, because the way that people consume music in the UK is just different, and it's just really, really cool to see.
Yeah. How would you say it's different to the US?
Oh man, I don't know. I kind of think people in the UK care a little bit more about the quality of the music and not just what it looks like.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely think that's a difference.
Yeah. The other kind of big UK festival is Glastonbury. Is that something that's in your dreams one day?
Oh my goodness, yes. I would love to play Glastonbury. That would be amazing, yeah.
What would that mean to you?
That would mean the world. I mean, I don't know. I love being a part of historical movements in music. Like that's just so cool to me, and to be able to be involved is like just an honor. Yeah.
Absolutely. Aside from music, you've also been very busy working on a book, Black Shield Maiden, which is the first in a fantasy series.
It is.
What was the idea behind it, and where did it come from?
You know, I'm just a nerd. I love history, and I love analyzing, you know, how humans interacted. Realistically, I love like prehistoric egalitarian like human societies, and like how they decided to gather and like come in tribes and communicate with one another, and that is really, really interesting to me. This isn't that far in history, but bottom line is I just want this book to look into how people lived in the past in order to kind of inform our future and teach us something that maybe we can do a little bit different in our future that our ancestors did, that can make our lives a little bit less hollow feeling in the 21st century.
I read it was kind of 6 years in the making, is that right?
Long time, long time. Who knows if it'll ever get put out. I just love the fact that there's a book that I wrote, and hopefully one day people will get to read it.
Yeah, that's an amazing achievement.
Thank you.
Why did you want to write a book in the first place? Kind of, have you always been someone who's been drawn to just writing?
Oh yeah, I love reading. You know, some of my favorite artists are authors, and I just always wanted to be an author, even before I wanted to do music. I just love literature, and I just think it's a really beautiful art form. Would you ever kind of become a full-time novelist, do you think, in the future? That definitely could happen. that most definitely could happen. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I love books, I love reading, hopefully. Yeah. Do you have any other kind of creative ventures that you're interested in as well, pursuing either in the near term or long-term future? There's always some random stuff I'm getting myself into. Who knows what the next thing is going to be? But what I do know is that it's going to be really, really fire, and that's all I can say. Yeah. I love that. Thank you. I'm so excited to see what you do next, Willow. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much. You have a beautiful day. You too.